Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to Wrestleview Live number 98. I am Mike Tedesco here with some very special guests tonight and one more on the way coming up. I am joined by the power group of Wrestleview.com here. And, number one of them owns the website and the other one is just a really good looking dude. Well, I mean, they're both not bad. I mean, when you're comparative to me here, but you know how it is. I got with us tonight, and again, we have somebody else on the way. She's just figuring out her audio equipment and her camera equipment right now. I have here with me the owner and webmaster of Wrestleview.com, Bret Hart's biggest fan, owner of his fan club here, Mr. Paul Nemer. We got Paul here tonight, and we have SmackDown recapper extraordinaire and host of the great Wrestleview SmackDown post show, Mr. Roy Nemer, here with me as well tonight. Gentlemen, Paul, we'll start with you. How are you doing? Big day for Wrestleview here.
Huge day for Wrestleview. New design, Royal Rumble. It's fun. I'm doing good. Good to be on too.
It's good to have you here. So yes, Wrestleview has a brand new look to it. We just started it up today. And man, I got to tell you, I like the look of the site.
It's good. I like the colors.
The colors do look good. It looks very sharp. Roy, if you could just go to the main page on your screen there so we could check out. I just want to show everybody this website real quick because it looks really, really good. Oh, I screwed it all up. See, look at this. Oh, what a nice layout. The colors really pop. Vince McMahon's mother's right there.
I didn't even know his mother was still alive anyway.
That's the scary part. That means Vince could be here for a long time. Looks good. So this has been a while coming. We've been working on another new design for everybody, and I gotta say, I am thoroughly impressed with the look. I think it looks great. It was a great, nice to pop on the website tonight, and just like Paul texted me, goes like, "What do you think of the new design?" I was like, "Oh my god." And then there it was. I was just like, this is awesome. Good way to kick off the Saturday and Royal Rumble. Made the day feel even bigger.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I was telling Paul earlier. And by the way, hi everybody, and thank you, Mike, for the great introduction. By the way, no lies were told during that introduction.
No, Mike has a crush on Roy, but that's what we know.
No. Anyways, yeah, I lost my train of thought. No, I woke up and I was talking to Paul, and I said, "Oh, yeah, like this feels like a Sunday because of everything, right? The big changes on Wrestleview and the Rumble, and the podcast and everything." But thankfully, it's Saturday. It's already well past midnight. It's 12:30. Luckily, no bedtime for me. Paul, I know Paul's getting up there in age, so we got to make it quick for Paul, and just kind of hurry it up.
Really called him out there. That was a shot. That was.
I got 7 years on his ass.
Well, those are 7 years of wisdom.
Yes, of course.
That's what we say. And okay, our other guest here is just came in the room right now. We have Victoria, the co-host of the Wrestleview Post Raw Show.
Hello, everybody. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, I think so. I hope so.
I hope so.
Perfect.
There you go.
Awesome.
Because I can hear her fine. She's in the room with me, but it's like if you guys can't hear her, that's
then that would just be a problem.
That would be a problem.
Yeah, her mic is on mute, and I can still hear her
because she's plugged into my soundboard.
That's why.
Because it's a high tech operation here, Paul.
Of course, I shouldn't be here. Bye, guys.
Paul's got his headset on. He's he's ready to go, as if he's doing a live stream on Limecast, 1999. It's amazing. I love it.
Lycos,
that's it. Oh, I was trying to think of the name right off the top of my head. Lycos. Oh my god. Now that's a classic. Let's say hi to everybody in the chat room as well. Man, we have it's been a lively chat while we were getting set up here, and we got the Wrestleview Fiend here, Andrew Elder, Machoon Walls. We got Mex Guy. We got Ronnie here. We got Brett Farmer. We got Daniel Shell. A lot of people here. Brett Farmer. We got the farmers here tonight. All right. We'll say hi to everybody as they come in, but we're looking for everybody to get involved in the conversation tonight because a lot of stuff happened on tonight's Royal Rumble, which took place live from St. Louis, Missouri at the Dome at America Center. It still feels weird to me that this is Saturday night and I'm not gearing up to go to work tomorrow. Well, I still have to go to work tomorrow because I work at a church, but my job that like gives me the most money.
At one point, Mike goes, "Oh, Ronda Rousey's gonna be on tomorrow night," and they're like, "No,
Victoria
she's
goes,
not."
"You mean Monday
I was
night?"
like, "Monday night."
I was like, "Yeah, what do you mean?"
And I was like, "No, Monday night." I was like, "It's Saturday." He goes, "Oh."
And also, I can't get used to calling these things premium live events.
Yeah.
They started that at the turn of the year, and they really are
Pushing
trying to
that.
get away from anything that's wrestling related. Even though the term pay-per-view is not specific to wrestling. I mean, you have boxing, you have
Right.
MMA, and everything. So I don't get. Look, it's another brilliant Vince McMahon idea. I'm guessing.
I actually think it's the Nick Khan. He's got it. He's doing it again. He's back. There was a great shot. I'm gonna say. I'll see if you can find it on Twitter. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up myself. But there's a great shot of Nick Khan. So the real star of the show tonight was the WrestleMania sign at the Royal Rumble event, which caught fire not once but twice. 2 times the WrestleMania sign caught on fire, and they had to evacuate a section of people because it was melting on their heads.
I really shouldn't be laughing.
And there was
but
a great shot
That's
of
hilarious.
I know, it was like absurd. And there's a great shot of Nick
how does that
Khan.
happen?
There's
Like-
a great shot of Nick Khan at ringside. He's like watching this, and you could just read the look on his face. It was just like, oh fuck. Oh no. Oh yeah, here we go.
Oh boy.
This is a thing.
I have to be honest with you.
I'm leaking on people.
That would happen to us. Like if we were there, we would have been in that section. That totally would have been up. Like
we only get around really stinky people at these
I
events.
mean, really though, that's something else.
Paul, does something happen to you? It says R.I.P. Paul is trending on Twitter.
That's
No,
amazing.
it can't be our show. Roy hit him with a quip about his age, and now everybody is rest in peace, Paul. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh dear Lord.
We have Sweet Lou in the chat room. We got Uncle Billy here. All right, yeah. There's a great image of Nick Khan. He was like, he looked like he wanted to like future endeavor the whole pyro department, which very well may happen. Jerome might very well be reporting on that pretty soon. And Jerome, by the way, our roving Wrestleview reporter here there it is. Oh my God, please get closer. Oh, look at his face. That's real. That's not a work. It's not a work.
Oh my gosh.
It's not a work. That's real. That's Nick Khan realizing that things just went bad at this event.
Oh dear.
Well, the event itself was pretty good. I'm going to run through the quick results, and then we'll just start talking about some of the big news here. So the Royal Rumble kicks off. I was actually surprised. I had picked on the post-Raw show that Miz and Maurice versus Edge and Beth Phoenix would kick off the show because I was like, that's just, it feels like that's how they should book it. But instead, they kick us off with Seth freaking Rollins taking on Roman Reigns for the Universal title. They were having a real banger match, and Seth Rollins took it to him. Reigns has never defeated Seth Rollins, and Rollins there was a couple great near falls in this I'd like to talk about too. What's that? No. And Roman Reigns eventually locked Seth Rollins into a guillotine choke, won't let go after Seth Rollins gets to the bottom rope, and there's a DQ. Whew. That was Michael. See, as Michael Cole was not happy with that. He was not happy at all with that. So Seth Rollins wins the match, but Roman Reigns, because WWE is just holding on to this DQ rule forever. Most places, if you get disqualified, you lose the match, you lose the title, but only in WWE does that still exist. Anyway, so Seth Rollins does not become the Universal Champion. Roman Reigns remains. Next match up is the 30-woman Royal Rumble match. We got the return of Rowdy Ronda Rousey. Wow, that was big. That was really big. She comes back at what was the number? I think it was number 28.
28. It was.
If memory serves correct.
It was 28.
Yes. Okay, good.
Because I thought at first I was
I'm
like,
really
oh
smart.
wait, we're at 30 already, but no, it's 28.
No, I'm just really smart. Yeah, she came out at number 28, big ovation, wins the match. She's going to WrestleMania, points at the sign sets on fire. That's how excited everybody was. Next match up is Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley in one of the few remaining real legitimate dream matches in professional wrestling, because everything just seems to be given to you all the time. This match has never happened before. It was damn good. Paul Heyman winds up turning on Brock Lesnar after Roman Reigns interferes in the match, hands Roman Reigns the title, and clocks Brock Lesnar in the head. Bobby Lashley covers, becomes the new WWE champion. Wow. After that, we got Edge and Beth Phoenix, the Grit couple, defeating The Miz and Maurice in a mixed tag team match. And then the 30-man Royal Rumble match. Brock Lesnar wins his second Royal Rumble, his first one in 19 years. Last time he won it was in 2003. By entering it at number 30 and just annihilating everybody. It was so fast that usually, like, when I recap these matches, I like to say, oh, here's the final four. I didn't even realize it was the final four. He was just killing everybody. I think Bad Bunny wound up in the final four of the 2022 Royal Rumble. Bad Bunny. But they were soon eliminated. Drew McIntyre was eliminated last, and that was that. Wow. Lot to unpack here. Let's start off with Mr. Paul Nemer, the amazing webmaster of Wrestleview. Paul,
yeah,
what did you think of this event, and what was your favorite thing from this event? Let's start off with that.
I give it a thumbs up. I think I liked the Rumble. I actually liked it. It was okay. It was fun. I'm pretty,
men's Rumble or the women's?
The men's. The women's was just, the fans were completely out of it. Out of it. It was just unbelievable. I felt bad for them. The men's Royal Rumble was good. Royal Rumble altogether, the pay-per-view from A to Z, I think overall it was good. It has a passing mark. I give it a passing mark anyway. But the fans weren't consistent at all. Like the women's Royal Rumble was really good. Was good, but the fans were just horrible. And throughout the Rumble, it was like up and down, up and down, up and down. Even when Ronda came out, they popped for like 5 seconds and then the crowd got quiet. I don't know if you guys noticed, but when she got in the ring, it was like, you look around, nobody was cheering anymore. It was like dead. I don't know what happened.
I think that's because they saw the quality of talent that Ronda Rousey now has to work with. This is great. Oh my God. These are the big names in women's wrestling now.
Yeah. But it was overall, it was good. I liked it. Just, Rambo, Superman, Roman Reigns, just they're overdoing it right now. I think they're completely overdoing it. He's been down our throats for what? I said a year. You said a year and a half. It's true. It's been a year and a half. I like him. I don't mind him, but like what? Like he's Rambo. You can't beat this guy anymore. That's it. Like he's the Hulk Hogan that never jobs now. It's like, what the fuck? Come on, guys.
Right. Well, they're obviously gearing him up for Brock Lesnar, who probably will dethrone him. But then they've also built Brock to the point where it's like he can't be beat. So, like, what are the only guys that can win it are like the Fiend, who they have fired. That's who Roman Reigns won the title from. The Fiend was like unbeatable, and it was like the most ridiculous gimmick of all time. So there was no fixing that. So they wound up getting rid of him. Probably also had something to do with his enormous contract. Give it to Roman Reigns. He never loses. And now it's going to go to Brock Lesnar, who, other than tonight, and they gave him his wins right back, never loses. Who could beat Brock Lesnar after that? You have to keep finding somebody who's bigger and bigger and bigger every single time. How do you come back with that? Well, let's ask Roy Nemer, who recaps Roman Reigns frequently on SmackDown. What did you think of the show? So there's a couple things. I want to know what you thought of the show. What was your favorite part of the show? And I want you to comment on Paul's assessment of Roman Reigns there.
Yeah, I thought it was a good show. I enjoyed it. My favorite part actually came extremely early on, which was the opening match, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. I love the fact that they had the Shield, Seth Rollins come out. Psychologically, he's been getting under Roman Reigns' skin. He's gotten in his head the past couple of weeks on SmackDown, and that's been great. And that's like the first vulnerable Roman Reigns that we've seen in a year and a half. Now, whether that's attributed to the fact that he no longer has or had Paul Heyman with them, or the Usos weren't there, who knows? But he did show some vulnerability last night on SmackDown. Then once more, Seth comes out with the Shield, and you're looking at Roman like, okay, Roman's not liking this, right? It's gone to his head. And the first 10 minutes the fans were into it. Seth looked like $1 million. Roman, for the first time in 18 months or 20 months, has looked beatable. He looked beatable out there, at least in the first 10 minutes. And then after that, it was just kind of like, no, similar to what Paul mentioned in the sense of, Superman and Rambo and Terminator and all those freaking monsters. That's what we got from Roman. And, I don't mind it in certain parts or in certain matches where it is necessary, but I felt like we got cheated out of that ending in the opening match. I sort of understand why they did it, sort of, although if you're going to have that as the opening match and you have that as the ending to the opening match, I think it's going to leave a sour taste in people's mouths. And Paul was mentioning this kind of off air, or maybe it could have been you, Mike. One of you mentioned, I don't think the fans fully recovered from that, because the fans were kind of up and down, and more often than not, they were down than up. And I think that played a big role in it. But opening match aside, I thought the 2 Rumble matches were underwhelming. I love the Rumble. I love the unpredictability of it. I just thought it was underwhelming. I love the ending. I very much enjoyed Lesnar winning it. For me, I know a lot of people didn't, but storyline wise, for me, it made sense to have him win it. I know people are going to bitch and complain about it, but storyline wise, it makes sense. So I get that, and I enjoyed it. As for Roman Reigns being the Rambo and Superman and all that stuff, as Paul mentioned, I agree. It's been a year and a half, and it's been a year and a half where I've enjoyed Roman Reigns. I've enjoyed watching Roman Reigns, covering Roman Reigns, but now it's gotten to the point where throughout that year and a half, there's really just been Lesnar and potentially now Seth Rollins, who you could look at and say, well, yeah, I could see Roman losing here, right? Kevin Owens, he was never going to lose to him, and anyone else he feuded with in the past year and a half wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And
Edge, Daniel Bryan.
Edge, yeah, even Edge, Daniel Bryan, he absolutely destroyed them last year at WrestleMania, and then it was kind of like, well, where do we go from here? And then finally they brought Lesnar back in at SummerSlam, and now it's the same thing. Going back to your question, Mike, what happens? What gives at WrestleMania? Whether it's Roman that wins or Lesnar that wins, who the hell dethrones any of these 2 guys after WrestleMania? I have no clue, and that's kind of the corner where they've backed themselves in.
Exactly. And maybe who dethrones them hasn't debuted yet. I mean, in the Rumble tonight, there were a couple of young stars that definitely got some, big moments. Like I'm thinking of Madcap Moss. Stupid goddamn name. Jesus Christ. Madcap Moss, with his dumb name, eliminated AJ Styles. With his stupid gimmicky look, eliminated AJ Styles. Queen Zelina eliminates Sasha Banks. So maybe the person who dethrones them, we have to look to look at NXT 2.0. Maybe there's like a Braun Breaker, Rick Steiner's son, who's who they're pushing to the moon on that show, giving him a lot of big moments real fast, because I think they're trying to build some momentum around him. Perhaps maybe those are the guys that dethrone him, or it's just going to be like, well, his contract's up, who do we got? Just give it to Kevin Owens, they'll pin him, like whatever. It's just, I don't know. It's there's a lot of questions that need to be answered there. Victoria, as our resident female here, what did you think of the Royal Rumble show itself
Overall,
and what was your favorite part too?
Oh, thanks.
Yes.
Thanks for letting me have a second question in there.
Well, I want you to answer 2 questions.
Overall, I enjoyed it. I really did. I actually loved it. I know not a lot of people enjoyed it probably as much as I did, but I did enjoy it overall. My favorite part was just the women tonight, the mamas. All the mamas that came back and kicked butt in the ring, the Bellas, Michelle McCool, Ronda Rousey, people were talking. Maurice, people talking
Beth
about Beth Phoenix, Becky Lynch, all these women who came back. Some people were mentioning in the comments before about Ronda Rousey not being in ring shape, and I'm like, she had a baby not long ago,
in ring shape.
And
Ronda Rousey could kill you,
and she looks amazing. So I think just that in general was a huge win for women just overall in WWE, because, you know, not long ago was it very like, no, you can't have a kid and come back and be successful and do your thing and be as powerful as you were and whatnot. But these women really, they did it. They came back and they looked amazing. They looked amazing. I enjoyed Ronda winning. I enjoyed seeing, you know, the Bella twins come back. I enjoyed seeing Michelle McCool. I enjoyed Maurice tonight. I was a little nervous in the beginning of the match, and I thought it was just going to be entirely like cowardly, where she was just going to keep running in and out of the ring against Beth Phoenix and whatever. But the fact that she even did a little bit, I was like, all right, cool.
I'm not gonna lie, the mixed tag, and I know Ms. Victoria is a huge Miz fan. When they sent out Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley, I was like, there's no way that they're gonna have Miz and Maurice follow this. I
thought it was canceled.
I thought it was canceled.
Oh, he's like, the match is canceled. He's like, look on the he's like, look on Instagram, look on Twitter, and I'm like, no, I think it's still going on. They're, you know, hyping it up on.
I wasn't upset that in my thinking that it was canceled, but when the match actually happened, that match was better than it had any right to be. I think.
I'm just saying,
Edge versus The Miz didn't exactly knock my socks off at day one. But Maurice was the star of that damn show.
I thought she was too. I just think the women overall tonight had a very good showing.
Come on, you guys got to be on board with Maurice. She's French Canadian. Like this is like, come on, you got to give it for the hometown girl here, the home country here.
I hate Montreal.
Speaking of the women's match, Ivory, I was talking to Roy. She's 60.
What?
Right?
She's 60 years old.
Right? She was incredible. Okay.
Insane.
Okay. So if I can pick one of my favorite parts from the Royal Rumble, I swear to God, I'm not even kidding. One of my favorite parts from the Royal Rumble was Ivory coming out.
Hilarious.
Oh my!
Right to censor gimmick with Stevie Richards.
Oh my God! Like I wish that they had Stevie Richards there in his white socks and black pants. Like that used to be my favorite thing. Like when he would get knocked down, his white socks. And white socks there, damn, sassafras. Like that was my favorite, like Jim Ross call. But man, she was hilarious. She comes out, she's like, women need to stop looking for Facebook followers.
So good. She's so funny.
And start worrying about starting families. Like, this is incredible.
Oh my God, that face.
That face was so
good though.
She was great for 60.
Yeah,
like,
man.
And then who was Rhea Ripley? Because she was looking right at Rhea Ripley, and she was like, "This is terrible." She scoops her up, and she's still doing commentary. It was funny enough. I was watching a video tonight of Booker T doing commentary while he was beating somebody down, and I know Jerry Lawler did that before, but Ivory, I think, has mastered the skill of getting eliminated while still calling the match, I guess, or still doing her gimmick. And then she gets eliminated and she just looks up. She goes, "How dare you?" That was probably the best part of the entire women's rumble, other than Ronda Rousey coming out in Roddy Piper's jacket. That was pretty sweet. But I don't know. I'm seeing like a lot of like people online not liking this show. You know,
I think it's a mixed bag. I think you either liked it or you didn't.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's there's an in between.
So I happen to like the show. I thought that the Rumble matches were good. And let's talk about like the results of these Rumble matches here. So Ronda Rousey kind of got dropped this week, that Rousey's return is imminent. And I said, like, if that's, I think it was actually on Monday, because that was when the big buzz was, because I talked
You were at her house last week.
Was that?
They were at her house last week. A WWE
Right.
official was at her house last week.
Right. And that kind of leaked out, I think, Monday morning, because I remember talking about it on the post Raw show. I said if they signed her, you're not going to save that return for like, oh, let's just bring her back on SmackDown. No, she's got to win the Royal Rumble, and that's exactly. I'm surprised she's going to be on Raw this Monday. I figured that would be like go right over to SmackDown, get right in Charlotte Flair's face, and just start that up. I'm wondering what they do with Ronda Rousey, but I thought that was really exciting because the women's division. Like Becky Lynch faced Dewdrop tonight. Dewdrop, a woman named Dewdrop.
It was. I was gonna say sorry, Mike. It was It was. No reaction from the crowd for that one, and I know I'm kind of jumping the gun here, but no reaction on the crowd. I could barely remember the ending, and it was so bad. It was so bad that you forgot to mention it in the quick results when you first started your introduction. So it was that, yeah.
What I miss?
Yeah, you missed.
Oh
You
my
missed
God.
You missed it. I'm
I
calling you out on
skipped
this,
right
Mike.
over it.
You did, yeah.
Calling you out.
I
I'm
saw
so
Roy
sorry.
scrolling, and I'm like, go
Yeah.
Roy right now because he totally skipped this.
That's how forgettable it was.
That's how bad it was.
Horrible.
Yeah.
She reminds me of Bertha Faye. I don't know if you guys remember her.
I do. Bertha Faye. We see Harvey of
Whippleman.
Whippleman singing serenading her. Although not shaming her because of her looks or anything. I mean, she's a great wrestler, but, but her name is Dewdrop. How serious can I take a person named Dewdrop? Come on. They worked hard though. I gotta say that match wasn't. Can I say it wasn't horrible?
It wasn't horrible,
but like right after the women's match, where that women's rumble was dead for a good portion of it.
It's the crowd that was dead.
Yeah,
I think.
I think also it's like they would bring back a legend in a sense, if you can really label Alicia Fox a legend.
Oh, that really made me angry.
That Victoria, she
really
actually
upset.
Yelled. She's like, she's not a legend.
They all also called Summer Rae a legend. I'm like, hello,
Summer Rae. It looked like her forehead. I've never noticed how high her forehead is, but it looked like
face.
nothing to do with her forehead.
Yeah.
Her face too.
Her face was scary.
And her time in here. Oh yeah, her face does look scary, but I don't want to be mean. But
but I don't know how much plastic surgery she had in her time off, but it literally looked like
clearly she had something done this week.
It looked like her neck was a pedestal holding an egg that had hair on it.
All right,
it was weird.
Okay, it didn't help. It didn't help that this individual was coming out and then this legend. I'm like, what? A legend? Really?
I don't know, but I don't even remember what my point was. Oh, anyway, so
Six women were over 50, I think.
Yeah, there might have been one or two in there. Yeah, absolutely. Lita's close. I think she's 46. She looks good or whatever.
She looks great.
Anyway, I don't want to become a total sexist chauvinist here, but geez.
Oh, you're already past that point.
Wow. Whatever.
You've already
whatever. I'll wear it like a badge of honor.
Okay.
Jeez. Anyway, so the crowd was pretty. They were pretty excited, at least after Ronda Rousey won. Like there definitely was some cheers there. I wonder though if part of the reason this match was dead, other than the fact that it's Becky Lynch versus somebody named Dewdrop. I just want to put that out there again, that the person's name is Dewdrop. It's just such an absurd name. Is the fact that the sign was on fire and they had just evacuated an entire section of people. I think they were a little distracted.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that definitely would catch your attention for sure.
I don't know. I'd like to see the match again. Like, would you guys want to see that match again?
Yeah.
That was very non-committal, Paul.
Not necessarily. One time was enough, but who knows? We might get it in Saudi Arabia next month.
Yeah.
Which is, Mike, I know it's your favorite pay-per-view and location.
Oh, of course.
Elimination Chamber is already bad as it is. Now it's in Saudi Arabia. It's going to be fun.
Right down the street from where they actually eliminate people from the earth.
Mike, stop.
No, it's true. It's true. It's true. That's not a joke. It's not a lie.
Whatever.
The location of the stadium is right down the street from where they have public beheadings and stuff like that. So.
I'm waiting for the date until Mike starts getting these anonymous
they'd like to call it public execution punishment.
Well, yes, I know. I have to move into the 21st century on my public murders, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's called being politically correct, Mike.
Yeah.
Yes.
You steal, we chop your arm off.
That's right.
Half hour in the show.
Now people cry about being canceled on social media. They bring cancellation to the next level there.
They cancel you pretty much. Like
when you're canceled, it's not like, oh well, I've been canceled and people talk bad about me on social media and I can't get a job anymore. Well, no, they make sure that you can't even breathe another more molecule of air when they're done with you.
It's literally cancel culture, literally.
It is. It is.
It's what the U.S. wants to do for cancel culture, but can't achieve.
Right. It's what the woke mob wants to do. It's like that's their attempt at being Saudi Arabia, I suppose. Quentin Walters, while I'm going off on this diatribe here, makes a very good point here. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. Maybe not the parts where I've been a total pig so far tonight, but everything else. We got Paul Nemer here. We got Roy Nemer here. We got Victoria here. We're having some fun talking about Royal Rumble. And also, please follow Wrestleview, our Twitter handle, our YouTube page, Facebook, and of course, most importantly, the website itself for any wrestling news. We have a new look on the website, social media. Join the conversation. We like to talk to all of you people for whatever reason. We just do.
Roy's laughing.
Yeah. So is Victoria. I like what is going on?
Because these comments.
This is legit.
Like everyone's like, if I cancel WWE's that talent, like
Actually, just cancel you. I think WWE.
I can't.
There's a point here. There's a point to that. Okay, let's talk about this Universal Championship match, because I do think that they did a really good job of making Seth Rollins look like a threat here. And this was a match, like when it happened on SmackDown, Roy, you got to say it came out of nowhere, but all of a sudden they build up Seth Rollins to look like a real legitimate threat.
Babyface too.
Babyface. Roman Reigns can't beat him. He's got the answer for everything that Roman Reigns was doing. Well, what do you think about this? And you think they do the rematch at Saudi Arabia and just have Roman Reigns beat him decisively because Roman Reigns just beats everybody?
No, I don't think so. I think that the reason they're doing this because he's the architect. He's the guy that put together the Shield, so he knows how to handle Roman Reigns, and I think that's what they're building on. So it makes sense the way things. The first match happened where he won by DQ, but like Roy said earlier, we actually thought he was going to lose. Right? We actually thought Roman Reigns might lose, has a big chance of losing this match, and there was the way they built it. I like it. It was fun, and I think Seth Rollins is going to have something to do with WrestleMania and Roman Reigns, maybe a triple threat or something. I don't know. Something's going to happen. Like, I mean, it's too good to not escalate this further.
I think blow off is Saudi Arabia. I just think it's going to be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, because we were supposed to get that at day one and we didn't get it. I mean, now it's like it's kind of got this aura around it, even though we've seen Brock versus Roman a million times. Roy, what do you see for your champion?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think this ends in Saudi Arabia and then kind of restarts after WrestleMania. I think Roman retains. I was going to say Elimination Chamber. I think he retains next month in Saudi Arabia. I think Roman retains at WrestleMania, and I think we kind of get to continue the rest of this story between Seth and Roman. I think we get it after WrestleMania as well. There's no way I don't see them ending this next month. I really, really don't. There's so much more to this. There's so much more they can do regarding Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Like the history, they've played off it tremendously. The promos, Seth Rollins, I'm not Seth's biggest fan. I've come around the past couple of weeks, past couple of months, but his program right now with Roman, it's been about 3 weeks, like you mentioned, just kind of came out of nowhere, where Roman's sitting in his office and comes Seth Rollins and suddenly he's the number one contender. Yet those past 3 weeks, or the past month, it's been so well made, where as I mentioned earlier, you're watching Roman and you're like, can this guy legit lose to Seth Rollins? And as Paul mentioned, Seth is the architect. He's been the architect of the Shield, and they have gone there. They have mentioned the Shield and everything, and they played off it tonight. And I just think there's too much there for it to just end next month. I see it, probably being put on hold next month, and then they continue it after WrestleMania. The one thing I want is just a triple threat at WrestleMania.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that very well could be. It might not be a bad thing. Let's say though that they do just pay it off in Saudi Arabia. Like it's going to be on a Saturday. I think it's going to be like Saturday morning or something like that, like on the in the Americas. Would you feel extremely disappointed if they had Roman Reigns decisively beat him there?
Absolutely. It's. I know they're trying to build Saudi Arabia, like these pay-per-views, up to be, still a massive pay-per-view and this and that. I know we've gotten title changes there in the past. I think it was the Fiend, but it needs a bigger platform than that. It really, really needs a bigger platform than that, as opposed to just, hey, Roman Reigns beat you at 10 a.m. Eastern time at 7 a.m. Pacific. Like no one really takes these pay-per-views seriously. It's all a big gimmick every time they go there, be it the biggest Royal Rumble or the King of the Ring, and now at the Elimination Chamber. I think it needs more. It needs a lot more, and I think there's not enough time for them to even end it next month in Saudi Arabia, because the next couple of shows that's going to happen, it's going to be centered around Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. So if they have a rematch next month, I don't see it paying off. I see it hopefully just kind of going past that, or else it's going to be a big disappointment if they end it next month.
Maybe another disqualification finish next month. You never know. With their stupid booking.
I know that one just that really, to me, killed the show a little bit. Really, like kicking off, because there were such great near falls. There was that the spear, the spear counter into the pedigree, and then also the buckle bomb into the stomp, which that was the first near fall. That one I came off the couch on that one. That just blew me away. Just damn good match, but man, that finish just killed. They never really recovered. I do think it picked up though with Ronda Rousey. Now I did see an argument, a couple of arguments being made online. Like when I put out my thoughts on the show, was like, I mean, part of them were bitter wrestling fans. I mean, who would have thunk you'd find some bitter fans online? They just seem to live on the interwebs here. They were all saying, oh, Ronda Rousey means nothing. They're just WWE bleeding more money into, these people like Lesnar and Rousey, and not really, her star power is totally gone. Victoria, what do you think of bringing back Ronda Rousey? Do you think her star power is gone, despite being one of the greatest female MMA fighters, if not the greatest? Technically, I mean, there's been better. There's probably better before and better that came after, but she was the first one who was like the mainstream star. And I guarantee if you talk to anybody, they would still know who the hell Ronda Rousey is. Do you think they're wasting money on her? Do you think do you think this is a bad signing? And what do you how do you think she's going to fare?
I don't think so at all. I don't think in the slightest bit is it any way, shape, or form bad to bring back Ronda Rousey. There's always going to be people online or whoever who are going to say that it's a bad idea, that it shouldn't happen, and who are just going to hate on the product and everything that they do regardless. This individual, Ronda Rousey, is a person who brings forth, her name itself is going to lure you in and draw your attention, and you're just going to want to see what happens. And I will say this, again, I haven't been watching as long as you guys, but when they first brought her into WWE, obviously her MMA background and everything has helped her significantly, right? To be able to, but it doesn't guarantee necessarily that she would understand how to perform in the ring. That's not a guarantee. That's not a guarantee that you'll learn quickly. It's a different genre of, performing. There's totally different things you have to consider. But I will say this, she learned pretty quickly how to catch on. No, like with the mic stuff, absolutely not. She's one of those people who should just not speak, let her fist and her fighting do the talking for her when she's in the ring. But she learned quickly, which is hard to do considering it's not the same. They're not equivalent to each other for what she did. That star power and just that fierceness and just that alone is good for them. What happens after WrestleMania? I don't know. But it might be one of those situations where she's maybe not going to be consistent.
You mean you think she's going to have like a female Brock Lesnar
She
type
might,
deal here?
And she very well might, and that also might due to the fact that she has her family now.
Well, yeah, so that would mean she's a female.
So I'm just saying that's a strong possibility, and I'm not I'm not disappointed with it.
Well, she was kind of doing the female Lesnar thing before too. If you really think about it, like they were very careful with her dates when she first won the title, or actually when she first came up. It was like, oh, Ronda Rousey's gonna be on this show. She's not gonna be on every single show.
I don't mind her being an attraction, though. I don't. I
think they need more
I
attractions
think they
in
need more
wrestling.
attractions, and I think that yes. Do I think they need more consistency with people who can perform and more storylines, and definitely can add a variety for sure? But at the same time, though, you still need that attraction there.
But
And I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that.
Well,
if Lesnar can do it, she can do it.
Yeah,
Because the way they
exactly.
booked Lesnar like 6 times a year, remember?
Right.
Everybody was complaining this guy's not wrestling, whatever. Yet he was a huge attraction. He was the biggest name in my opinion, and this
Mhm.
guy was delivering each and every match. So, and he was still champion in between. So why not? Why can't we do that?
Exactly.
She doesn't have to be there each and every week, every single week, bore us out like Roman Reigns right now,
And she
So-
shouldn't be, honestly, because she I don't think she could sustain that where she just can just wrestle and not speak at any point. And I don't really think she should be talking, because clearly she struggled with that. Little stuff here and there, but not on a consistent basis. I don't think you lose that appeal if she's just on all the time.
Yeah, no, you have to use her as an attraction, which is, like you guys mentioned, which is how they used her when she first came in. She wasn't on the show every single week. She was there probably once a month or every 2 months. And I think if they continue using her as an attraction, or maybe use her, maybe a little bit more the closer we get to WrestleMania, that's fine. But have her show up once every 2 or 3 weeks, I think that's cool, because otherwise, like Victoria mentioned, on the mic, it's not pretty. And having her on SmackDown and having Charlotte, who's constantly yelling on the mic, which in all likelihood is probably going to be what we're going to get, probably Charlotte and Ronda. So having those two constantly back and forth, not going to be too good. But that's for a whole other thing.
I think I don't think the promos are going to be spectacular or anything to really write home about. I anticipate that they're going to have a hell of a match, because I still remember their match that they had. What was it? Survivor Series 2018. It was actually originally supposed to be Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch. And this is actually what kickstarted Becky Lynch's huge run that led her all the way to WrestleMania. In the build up to Survivor Series 2018, Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey was absolutely going to happen. And then Nia Jax just creamed Becky Lynch, broke her nose, and that match had to be called off, because I think on top of having a broken nose, I think she actually got a concussion from that. That's what set Nia Jax off. As everybody labeled her as dangerous after that, and well, she's no longer wrestling now.
Ahmed Johnson.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Wow, what a callback. Paul with the Ahmed Johnson drop. If you thought you were going to hear Ahmed Johnson's name tonight,
Yeah,
it was going to be
You
right
just
here.
won a lot of money.
You
if
just
you
won a lot of
did.
money. You got the Ahmed Johnson on the bingo card here. They had a banger match with almost really no time to prepare for that. I mean, and you think Charlotte Flair was working with Ronda Rousey. Yeah, she'd been working for nearly a year up to that point, but I mean, a year, and they had a hell of a match. So I'm thinking this WrestleMania match could be huge. Initially,
I'll let you finish, and then I have something to add.
Initially I had thought that, man, like, how are they going to fill up 2 nights of WrestleMania? Like, I'm glad that they do it, because those 8-hour WrestleManias were horrible to watch. I mean, those WrestleManias, and that's like the one great thing that came out of the pandemic was the 2-night WrestleMania thing here, and they're actually doing it again, this year, and I hope they do it next year and forever. But man, like, those 8 hours of WrestleMania suck. But now you have 2 shows. You have to have 2 WrestleMania quality main events to headline each of them. And I was thinking, God, like, what could possibly do it? I thought that they would just have Brock Lesnar, have 2 matches on WrestleMania night 1, he faces, Bobby Lashley again or something like that. WrestleMania night 2, he faces Roman Reigns. This is why you bring Ronda Rousey back, for all those people that are like, oh, she has no star power and they put all this money into her. Watch what happens to WrestleMania night 1 or night 2, whatever she headlines, that's going to sell out. And that's exactly why you put all that money into her, because you're going to get so much money out of it, because you idiots will still buy the tickets anyway. to see her. That's why you bring her back.
You took what I was going to say, because I said, the last time that the WrestleMania happened, we were there. We were at that long ass show where just, it was like by the time the main event happened, you were seeing stars. That's how long it was. And
no, you were seeing stars because it was an open air arena. It was completely dark. It was 1 a.m. We were walking off.
Yes. And it just, and at that point you're like, oh, I'm not gonna leave, right? Like, you spent all this money, you're like, I'm not leaving. But
we're not missing the main event here.
No, but now with the 2 nights, I think people will appreciate it more that it's happening, because you're not feeling like, oh my God.
You should not be you should be sad that WrestleMania is over.
Yeah.
Not ecstatic that it has finished and that you made it through without falling asleep.
Oh man.
Man, those shows.
But it's true though. That's why I think that it actually works in their favor, because you want to see it again. You want to see the matchups again. But when you're like, oh God, like I don't want to have to wait like a gajillion hours to see it happen at this point.
That WrestleMania was on your birthday, right? Or was it the day before or something like that? Well, anyway, whatever it was.
No, but I just remember being pregnant and uncomfortable. That's all I remember.
Oh, you're uncomfortable as it is.
Whoa.
But that WrestleMania went so long that actually, if you check the title reigns, like especially on Wikipedia, I think even on WWE.com,
I think it ran since my birthday.
Yes, I think your birthday happened while WrestleMania was going on. That's how long that damn show was.
I think that's what happened. Yes.
So like they, whatever that date WrestleMania took place on, Becky Lynch's title reign obviously started, the next day.
Yeah.
So like, like they have the whole thing, all these people that have their show start on one day and hers is the next because it went too goddamn long. Anyway.
April 7th. There you go. Sorry. April 7th.
Yes. So April 8th, Victoria's birthday.
Yeah.
That's when Becky Lynch's first title reign began. The day after the scheduled date of WrestleMania. Good Lord. Paul, you got to be happy that WrestleMania is 2 nights long, because now that's just we would drive more revenue to the site here.
Definitely. I mean, those 8-hour shows with the pre-show was just horrible.
Oh, I know. See, Paul loves. I think Paul is going to really start to love Nick Khan, because I think these shows are going to just like you think he's trying to book all these shows like to have like a marquee go-to match, like, and more big special events. Like day one was a really well booked show. Drives people to the website, makes it, we have to thank Nick Khan after a while. Even the firing.
Listen,
like people love to tune in for those firings.
Okay? We all drive the website, not Nick Khan. Okay.
Nick Khan's.
No, it's all of us. Everyone who's on and Jerome. Everyone who's here and Jerome drives the website. Okay.
I don't know. Nick Khan's putting a lot of money in our coffers here. People hate him. And what do you do when you hate something? You turn out to see the thing you hate, hoping that it dies.
So that's why, again, people who don't like Ronda Rousey, they're going to be like, okay, I'm going to watch it anyway. You're watching it regardless. It's not like they're going to turn off the TV and be like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to watch this now because Ronda Rousey's on television. Give me a break.
Roy, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
No, nothing. I completely forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, no.
It's all good. Don't worry about it. No, it was probably something along the lines of, I forget.
There you go, Mike. It's your fault.
Old age.
I forgot. Old age. There you go. Old age.
And I'm old, right?
Yeah. Wow. Got him. I thought the WWE Championship match was just booked perfectly. And like that match, like I mentioned before, like, there's not many dream matches left in professional wrestling. For some reason, I saw somebody had listed as a dream match, like Edge versus AJ Styles. Like, I don't know why the hell that would be a dream match.
Somebody's dream, maybe not.
Maybe it's
everyone's dream.
It's like a fever dream or something like that. I don't know. But
a dream match, you need to have somebody with the caliber of AJ Styles and his wrestling ability. Edge does not have AJ's wrestling ability whatsoever. That's not a dream match.
I don't think so. I don't. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it would be a very good match. But Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, I'd been waiting a long time, and we'd kind of mentioned that, and I'd kind of resigned myself to the fact that we never see it. COVID-19 again, like another one of those like happy accidents from like the damn pandemic, interrupted the Universal title match at day one which puts Brock Lesnar in a fatal 5-way with the Raw people. By the way, Big E's stock has dropped significantly. Holy crap. Oh my God. Well, I want to talk about a couple people whose stock dropped in a few minutes, but we'll get back to that. And then Brock Lesnar wins the title. All of a sudden, it's Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. Like, wow. It was every bit as good as I thought it would be. And I kind of like that Lashley hits Lesnar with a German suplex that dumps Lesnar on his head. And for the rest of the match, it seemed like Brock Lesnar made it a point to drop Bobby Lashley on his head with every single German suplex. Paul, you've seen a lot of wrestling through your many, many years on this earth. Had nothing to do with his age. And what did you think of this? Were you excited? Were you as excited about this match as I was, or just or are you taking the approach? I've been there, done that.
No, I was actually excited, but at the same time, I didn't predict the outcome, right? I actually thought Lesnar was walking out champion. So, but it was fun. It was a good match because, like you said, we haven't seen that before. These two guys never met. They have similar backgrounds and everything like that. So that's what made the match fun to watch. And the ending was even more fun because of the suspense where, Heyman did what he did. But those German suplexes were fun. You can tell, though, like maybe the third, fourth, fifth ones were like very light. When he would do it, he would just go right even below his shoulder. Not because Lesnar's not strong enough to do it, but I just think it was to protect Bobby Lashley. So he was just doing them sideways now.
I think this is probably one of the longest matches that Brock Lesnar has worked in a long time. So maybe he was just exhausted.
I don't know. They were sideways. The suplexes were sideways.
They were, but when Lashley dropped him on his head and Lesnar pointed at his head, the next two were definitely like it reminded me of Brock Lesnar at the 2018 Royal Rumble when Braun Strowman just fucking kneed him right in the face, just rocked him, and then Brock just came back and just annihilated him with a couple punches and say like, "Hey, slow down." He'd spiked Bobby Lashley on his head. I think those two were on purpose. I think you're right that he was protecting him on the next couple German suplexes, but Lashley emerged from those because he dumped him, and like I think dumped him in a way that like his legs would have ricocheted off his face. He was bleeding from the mouth after those two German suplexes. I think Lesnar was letting him know I don't really appreciate what you just did there. Roy, are you trying to find some of those German suplexes right now?
Yeah, I'm searching. The one, the only thing I could find so far is it's this one here, which I loved, by the way. Like the start of this match like this, I absolutely adored it because it showed, two legit strong guys, two guys that could beat anybody up, anybody in the locker room, two actual fighters. And I loved it. Loved the start, but those German suplexes, and I am looking, as you can tell, but
yeah,
I can't find a single one so far. They were
the Haas fight.
Yeah, they were rough. Like I was expecting a physical match. We got a physical match, and I kind of wonder if backstage before the start they spoke and Lesnar's like, all right, give me your best shot, and Lashley probably told him, give me your best shot or something, because this was brutal. That start, especially Lesnar when he landed like on his neck. I had flashbacks of WrestleMania 19 from the shooting star. Granted, the other one, it was different where he landed, kind of on his forehead, directly on his forehead. But this one could have been really bad. I mean, Lesnar's 280, 285, and you have all that weight just crushing down on your neck and your vertebrae and everything. That could have been bad. But, I mean, Lesnar's a fucking Viking. He's a machine, and got up laughing as if there was nothing. I'm like, holy shit. Like that would have paralyzed a normal person.
You can't.
Who would win in a real fight today?
Oh,
that's a tough one. Considering Lesnar has had what he had, the surgery he's had with diverticulitis and whatever,
right?
And his age right now and all that, would he still win?
Oh, I'm going with Lashley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Bobby's not a spring chicken either. He's in his 40s.
No, but I'm still going with Lashley.
I think a brawl for all. That's good.
Could you imagine like if they did the brawl for all with these two guys in it? Somebody would have actually died. Like somebody,
Imagine getting a
There would have been a
couple
murder.
people came close to dying in the brawl for all. Bart Gunn being one
Bart
of them.
Gunn.
Yeah. Imagine getting a punch from Lesnar or a punch from Lashley, like a legit punch.
Like a punch with purpose.
Punch with purpose. That's why, Paul and I kind of joke recently. We're like, I'll pay someone to jump the ring whenever Lesnar and Lashley are there. Like,
A fan jumping the ring.
To jump the ring just to see what kind of damage Lesnar and Lashley would do to a normal person. But that's just me with my
being thrown in a
sadistic
lion's
ideas.
den.
Yeah, there you go.
I would say if you really want to torture somebody, just put them together.
I remember when I was ringside for SummerSlam 2018, and it was Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns again, and Braun Strowman for whatever reason interfered in that match, and I was like right by the entrance ramp, and Lesnar did something like Roman Strowman was the Money in the Bank holder at the time, and he tried to interfere. Brock goes outside and he was the sounds that were coming from this briefcase hitting Braun Strowman's back were just ungodly. And then he just took this briefcase and the velocity. I was like, oh my God, if he just miscalculated and went into the crowd, someone's losing their face. He's scary strength. It's like you don't even need ringside security when Brock Lesnar comes out, because he's his own personal security. He's an enormous man.
Boom.
He is.
But that being said, God, I think you have a point with the midsection there. It's a little gone on him. I think Bobby Lashley would get him on that. But if it's Brock Lesnar in his prime versus Bobby Lashley in his prime,
Lesnar.
I think Lesnar breaks his arm.
Yeah.
Just crushes him. He was scary, like in the UFC. Oh my God,
he's still scary for God's
Yeah,
sake.
no, he's still scary.
I wouldn't want to fuck with him.
Yeah,
I've met him in person, and I've actually upset him. I upset him. So I met him twice. You remember the story I told you?
No, continue, because I have a story.
Okay, so it was the Royal Rumble 2018. Me and Vin were staying at the Ritz-Carlton. Vin's Victoria's brother. We were staying at the Ritz-Carlton in Philadelphia, which is where a lot of the wrestlers were staying. I got a shot with Jinder Mahal, who at the time was recently a WWE champion, Sheamus. And then there was Paul Heyman, that one where you said I look like, an idiot, a certain wrestler, I don't even say his name right now. And shit, don't say the goddamn word now. And I don't know if I'm freezing up right now because it says
you were.
Yeah, you are a little bit.
But you could hear me.
You're back.
So and so. Damn it.
Yeah. I don't know why that keeps happening. So annoying. Anyway, so we were staying at the Ritz-Carlton, and Brock and Paul were leaving for the Wells Fargo Arena, early, for the show. I think I'm not cutting out again.
You're cutting out again. Yes.
Damn.
Well, is it your Ethernet?
I don't know. I'm going to check this. It'll be fine.
It's his Mac.
I'm not using a Mac. How dare you? I'm using a Lenovo Legion. How dare you?
He's not using a Mac.
No, I don't use Macs anymore because I got shamed too much. So that's the end of that.
I have a Mac and I've been fine.
Whatever.
We're not going there. We're not going there.
No comment.
Yeah, we're not going there.
Well, anyway, so after the show, I'd met Lesnar before and he was very nice to me. After the show, I was at the bar, and then there's Brock Lesnar in a cowboy hat drinking red wine, which was just an interesting sight to behold. I tried to sneak a selfie in there, and he goes, "Come on, man, what the fuck?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna walk away now." That was that.
Don't even make eye contact.
Paul Heyman had his hands in his face in his hands. As I was like, okay, because I was trying to
That's why you needed
take
me
a picture
there.
at the bar in the background like that, and
that's why you needed me there.
He was mad. He was very mad,
you.
and I was just like, I'm going away now.
I would have stopped you.
I'm just gonna fade.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna fade away.
Leave him alone. He's at the bar right now.
It's terrible.
Leave him alone. You're being an idiot.
All right. Paul, you have a Lesnar story.
Yeah, it's actually a funny story. Buddy of mine, Rick, that was 2001, 2002. I forgot the date when Lesnar made his debut in WWE. Came out in beat everybody up and beat Spike Dudley or something like that. We were in Montreal. I wasn't living in Ottawa, so me and Rick were there, and Rick was drinking whatever throughout the show. So we're at the hotel at the Marriott, and the wrestlers are coming in. Everybody's coming in. We're meeting everybody, taking pictures, whatever. And Rick's like, next person that comes in, I'm gonna pick a fight with them. I said, Rick, don't ever do that. So what happened was Rick's joking. He's not gonna pick a fight with anybody, but then Brock Lesnar comes out. Comes in the hotel, and Rick looks, and Lesnar was wearing a long jacket. It was cold, right? It was March, so it was like at least -10, -15 in Montreal. So Lesnar had his like jacket, everything, whatever. And Rick looks at him, he's like, oh, he's not big enough. I mean, look at him. I stood beside Brock Lesnar. I was literally the same size, like standing up, right? Even though he can probably eat me alive. So so then Rick's like comes in, like, hey, what's up, man? And Lesnar looks at Rick like this. It's like, don't fucking touch me. You touch me again, I will eat you and shit you out. And I'm just standing there. I'm like, hi, Brock. Can I take a picture? He's like, yeah, of course. So I take a picture, and that was it. And that was Brock Lesnar's first appearance in WWE and his first post appearance at the Marriott. It was hilarious. I looked at dude. I'm not kidding, dude. He was gonna kill Rick. He was gonna kill him. He actually went like this. Like, he actually hit him. He goes like, how's it going? And I'm like, oh my God. I felt those. Like, it wasn't a chop, but it was like, So I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
Knowing Lesnar now, I think he would have hit him.
Oh
Yeah. Well, now that he has some clout, like
Yeah.
he has more than clout.
I mean, more.
I remember. Sorry, Paul, you done?
No, yeah, I was on. Roy knows him. That was Rick.
Yeah, I know. Well, I remember Rick. No, that I have I mean, it's a Lesnar story. Yes, not really. When we were in Montreal, actually, no, sorry, we were in Ottawa, and there was, I believe it was a Raw in Ottawa, and we had floor seats because Paul always hooked us up, floor seats, no matter what. It was usually front row. And at that time, they kind of told us it was a commercial break, and security came along and told us, like, just make some room. So I'm like, nice, like someone's gonna pass through, like either someone's passing through or we're gonna have a brawl or something. And this was 2002, and I'm showing my age. I was around 12, 13 at the time. And lo and behold, freaking Brock Lesnar's coming through the crowd, and I'm like, nice, it's Lesnar. And I shit you not, because he has that shoulder tattoo right here, and I remember just going like this. His tattoo was bigger than the palm of my hand, and I was 12, yes, but still, like, I just look at him like, holy shit, like, this guy's a fucking monster. But yeah, that's my Brock Lesnar story. So technically, I have a Brock Lesnar story. I touched Brock Lesnar. There you go. That's like
you got away with it, Roy, which is good. You were able to touch him unmarked.
He had a fractured hand.
You made it out alive.
Yeah, my entire hand, my entire wrist was in a cast for a couple of weeks.
Lesnar is, and he's everything they say he is. He's absolutely a beast, and he can be having a
immediately.
He's wearing a cowboy hat and having a fine Chianti or something like that at the hotel. I don't know. Brock Lesnar drinking wine was just weird to me. It's just the weirdest thing on earth. I was like,
maybe that's why he didn't want you taking the picture. Maybe he's like, he didn't want anyone to know he drinks wine.
Oh, I'm having a fine, red Riesling or something like that.
It was with the steak, right? It was with the.
I don't know. I don't even know if he was eating. It was like so weird. He was just drinking wine. It was just like,
I can't believe Paul Heyman was like,
he brings his own meat, right? He hunts and he brings his own meat.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, maybe he was eating like beef jerky or something. But
maybe
like,
that was
God,
it.
I was like, Brock Lesnar drinking wine. Like, I thought he just only had beer. Like, he just seems like it was strange.
That's why we all solved the mystery. He was having wine. He didn't want he didn't want anyone to know he drinks wine.
He was embarrassed.
No, he just doesn't like people.
Now here's something that you wouldn't want to hide. I have to say, and I'm going to say this right in front of my wife.
Oh no!
That the mixed tag match tonight, Maurice was looking mighty fine.
Okay.
In that match.
Wow.
Towards the end of that match, yeah.
There was sign me up for the flying Hurricane Rana right now. I'll take that move any day of the week from Maurice.
Whoa.
I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. I promise you. But I gotta say, Brock Lesnar doesn't want to be seen drinking wine. If I'm Miz, I want to know that's.
I think your connection's been drinking wine right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh God! Every time I talk, this stupid connection.
There you go. You're good now. You're good now. Man.
Unbelievable! This dumb connection, man. I'm trying to kill myself here.
You know what it is? That was karma right there for talking the way you're talking about Maurice. Karma.
She was looking like a snack.
Okay, great. We get it.
Then we'll take that Hurricane Rana.
Stop it.
Let that be me.
But what did I say to you during that though?
Back then that was called the
I
Frankensteiner,
said
right?
Edge is probably like, yes.
Well, Edge is married to Rufio from Hook, and Miz is married to Maurice. Who's the heel here? You kidding me?
I literally was like, Edge is probably like all in his glory. He's like, I have my wife right there, but literally Maurice is like,
yeah, Edge is like taking that move. He's like, I can't believe I'm getting away with this. This is amazing.
How do you think Miz feels about that?
It's the first time that move's ever been taken with someone's tongue out.
No, you know what? I think Miz is like, you know what? At the end of the day, she comes home with me, so I'm good.
It's the first time in the history of the Flying Rana that anybody did it with their tongue out. Man.
So apparently we're covering. Mike's had a glass or two of wine, I guess.
I just recapped a 4-hour show. I'm good. We're having some fun here on Wrestleview. Anyway, getting to the men's match here.
So that's all you had to say about that match?
That's it.
That's literally.
Anybody want to add anything?
Any contribution you had to say?
Anybody want to add anything with the mixed tag?
Literally nothing else.
I actually wanted to see Miz and Maurice win the match, to be honest.
Thank you,
I
Paul.
thought they were actually.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like at a certain point, I was like, oh my God, like. Especially when Maurice ran wild and did the Flying Rana in all seriousness, and then she hit the French kiss on Beth Phoenix, and then they did the skull crushing finale thing, the Edge. I was like, wow, that's it.
Yep.
I mentioned in the beginning of the show that I actually, like I said, I liked how it wasn't entirely like this cowardly thing. She did do stuff, and that's because I never saw that period. I have only seen things online and whatever. It was nice to kind of get a tiny little snippet of what she used to do. And just I like her character too. We spoke about this on the show on Monday. She's just got a great character.
She does.
I was sorry, not to interrupt. I was gonna say this is something, Mike. We spoke about this a couple of weeks ago when I was on when we did the show together. Is it just me, or Edge and Beth Phoenix have zero chemistry? Be it on the mic or in the ring, nothing. I mean, you watch Miz and Maurice on the mic, great. You could tell they're a married couple. Even in the ring, they work great together. Edge and Beth, it's just I don't get it. I don't like. You're married. How do you not have more I have more chemistry with a pet rock than I do than they do.
I was gonna say something, but I can't say it. We're on the air.
There's a there. I want to hear that.
I think that's why Edge maybe made the suggestion. He's like, we really should feud with the Miz and Maurice.
Maurice, I want you to look really good in this match. I think we should practice a couple times this flying Hurricane Rana.
They're probably at the dinner table, and he's like, you know what, Beth, I think it'd be great. I really want to wrestle with you. I think it'd be. You know what though? I think I should have a feud with the Miz, and then what would be even better if Maurice was involved.
Mike's still thinking about that Hurricane Rana. Okay, let's get it out of your head. Remember back in the day, the Hurricane Rana was just a Frankensteiner.
That's right.
That's one way of getting that image out. You want Scott Steiner doing that to you?
Not in particular.
No.
Remember when he used to do it?
It was
my jaw would drop, man. It was unbelievable. It was like a move nobody could replicate or duplicate. It was impossible. It
was like unthinkable. Like he was actually, what a great wrestler Scott Steiner was.
Skinny Steiner, not the
skinny Steiner.
Steiner.
But even then, like the thing I used to love about the Steiners was like they would just do stuff and like literally every single time they would do it, they would almost die in the process. I cannot tell you how many Frankensteiners I've seen Scott Steiner pull off where he spiked himself on his head immediately. Like it never worked out. But he was like, University of Michigan has such a thick neck. You could not kill that man. You could not kill him.
Yep.
Incredible.
So that got it out of your head.
Yeah, I'm good now. You got me thinking with the University of Michigan. I'm done. Here we go. The men's Royal Rumble match. There were it was pretty underwhelming, devoid of any real surprises. I thought the Johnny Knoxville thing was just stupid because, I mean, if it was 20 years ago, like Johnny Knoxville's a name. Now Johnny Knoxville is just like,
just looks sad.
It was sad. Yeah, it was like
jackass.
Yeah, he was a jackass. Yeah, for real. Although I gotta tell you, I did respect him for telling AJ Styles, like he laid in that forearm on AJ Styles, and he laid that thing in, and then he said, "Bring it," and AJ Styles brought it. I mean, I'd love to see a picture of Johnny Knoxville's face after this match, because AJ Styles backhanded him as hard as he possibly could, and just crushed him with a clothesline. Montez Ford crushed him with a frog splash. They were giving it to Johnny Knoxville. Kind of reminded me of Daniel Pewter back in the day. Remember that?
Oh, of course. Kurt Angle, right? That was Angle because he got shown up on Tough Enough. It was an episode of SmackDown.
Right.
And Angle was pissed off. Angle did not like that at all.
Did a number on Angle.
Yeah. And then he winds up in the Royal Rumble with, I think it was Kurt Angle, I think it was Chris Benoit, and I think it was Eddie Guerrero, and they all took turns just abusing this guy before dumping him out of the ring. That's what the Johnny Knoxville thing reminded me of. I was like, wow. So anyway, that happened. But there was a couple of people here that, a couple months ago I would have said would be favorites to win the Royal Rumble, and they had either an underwhelming appearance or an appearance that was, here it is. Yeah. Oh yeah, he really laid that in. That was no joke. That was no joke. But there was a couple of guys that was like, wow, like he was big a few months ago, and now that was totally a nothing. That was a total nothing. So I'm thinking of guys. I'm thinking of our Damian Priest, who in November he hadn't been beaten the entire year, was just running roughshod over everybody, and tonight was just used as like a kind of like he got a real jobber elimination there. It was just like, he was listening to Chad Gable, and then he goes and just gets dumped out easily by Omos.
The treatment.
He got the treatment. I'm thinking of guys like Big E, who was the WWE champion at the beginning of this month, and he was like a total nothing burger in that match.
Yep.
I before like the Brock Lesnar thing happened, I was like, I would have said Big E should win this because they got to find a way to get him his steam back. But now he's back on SmackDown as just like a guy. And then he comes out and is just eliminated like he's just a guy. Was he WWE champion a month ago?
Yeah, he was. And now he's tag teaming once more with Kofi Kingston. He's coming in at number 26 in the Royal Rumble and not even lasting till number 30. Was Big E in the ring when Lesnar came out?
No, he had already been eliminated by Matt Riddle and Randy Orton.
There you go.
They pulled the plug on him. That's it.
4 minutes.
Yeah, they pulled the plug on that one, and Damian Priest too. I have to.
Well, Damian Priest, I don't know. I never thought he was a contender anyway, or a guy that can make it somewhere. I don't know.
I didn't think so either, but they were pushing him like he was, and it was like there was a couple times in that run where I was just like, man, like this guy just doesn't have it, and it was like August, and they kept going.
Here's my question: you were talking about guys that thought you thought they might get somewhere, and all of a sudden they're freaking jobbers right now. Okay, I know he's, dare to say old. AJ Styles. I mean, I understand if he's not wrestling on a weekly basis, or if he's wrestling once every like 2-3 months, I can understand what they're doing with him. But the fact that he's there every week, the fact that he's, I think, one of the best performers still today at 40 some, why not give AJ another shot? They should have done this a few months back and give him another run or something. He can do it. He has the endurance. He has the ability. He has everything. He's a mid-carder now. He's become a mid-carder.
Truer words could not be spoken, Mr. Nemer. I agree with you 1,000%. And now AJ did have a really good showing in this Rumble, but not good enough to being eliminated by Madcap Moss. You know, like he definitely carried like the first half of this match, you know, by being like a steady presence there. And then what they thought, like, oh, we'll eliminate AJ Styles and have Dolph Ziggler come out and Ziggler will carry. Like, no way. And like I said this, I've been saying this on Post Raw too, that it's like they did have him go over on Austin Theory, which makes me think that they are kind of having a little bit of a turnaround on how they consider AJ Styles. But I was like, why is it that like Randy Orton and AJ Styles are about the same age, and Randy Orton is still pushed like he's Randy Orton, and AJ Styles has all of a sudden gotten the, we've determined that he's too old now, and it's time for him to start putting over losers. I'm sorry, but like Madcap Moss ain't it, Jack, and he shouldn't be eliminating AJ Styles. Sorry.
Well,
Paul.
maybe the thing is, it's true where they say that Vince McMahon only pushes his own creations, right? With time. He did push AJ at one point, but then and then that's it.
Right.
I mean, I would push AJ over Randy Orton any given day of the week.
It's
and
so
Orton could be and AJ could be my champion for the next 6 months. A credible champion too, and put on 5-star matches each and every night.
Right.
I don't care if he's 45, he can still do it.
Right. AJ Styles should be pushed to the point where it's like, you know, AJ Styles Roman Reigns might be a viable match where it's like, you know, AJ's, you know, so damn good. Maybe here I go again with my fucking connection, but maybe AJ Styles puts Roman Reigns in trouble.
Right.
But that's not, but they decided instead to make him, you know, the guy who shines everybody up. The guy who gave Undertaker his last match.
Yeah, but by doing this, just because you're afraid that he might overshadow your top guy, then you're not giving the fans what they want, and you're not using your talent properly. And this is why I would be afraid of AEW somewhere down the line, because they're putting on better matches right now. Even though I'm a fan of WWE, I'm a bigger fan of a WWE. However, this is the problem we're having today: is 5-star matches and getting belts on people like AJ and others, and they're not doing it. AJ's giving you a 5-star match, but then you're making him look like crap, like a complete jobber, and that he loses his credibility. And right now, I don't take him seriously. You put AJ in any match, I don't take him seriously anymore because of the booking.
When they paired, sorry, Roy, go on.
No, I was gonna say, you know, it looked like at one point when they threw Orton in with Riddle, and then they had AJ with Omos, it was kind of like, okay, maybe they didn't know what to do with Orton, maybe they didn't know what to do with AJ, so they're, you know, putting them in tag teams to kind of elevate both Omos and Riddle. Randy's still doing his thing with Riddle. That's cool. It's working out and it fits Randy's character, you know, whatever it is now. But AJ is just kind of like, dude, I mean, he was the champ a couple of years ago, and I remember at one point when they were doing the tour in South America, and then AJ toured all of South America, then flew back to SmackDown in like a span of 2 days, won the title. I think it was off Jinder Mahal, and they really, you know, he carried the belt, and you're like, you know, thinking, wow. For a year, and you know, he was the champ going into WrestleMania when Nakamura won the Rumble, and then they haven't done anything since. And he's getting that Dolph Ziggler treatment, where it's kind of like, well, we're gonna use him just to kind of put over the younger talent because he could live off his name because it's AJ Styles. Well, he could live off his name because he's AJ Styles, because he's AJ Styles, because he's that good, because he's still that good. Give him something. The Intercontinental title on SmackDown is fucking dead in the water. Throw AJ on SmackDown, give him the belt, make it credible again. Throw him in the against Lashley, against Roman, against anyone. Push him, do something. The United States titles on Damian Priest. Is Damian even getting that much of a pop? Not really. Put it on AJ. Do something. They could do so much with him, and they're not.
But the damage is done, Roy, on AJ. Right now, you can have anybody beat AJ, and it won't elevate his career as much anymore. Not because AJ is not good, but because you've fucking made him job so many times. It's kind of like, you know, Chris Jericho. I'm not comparing the technical ability, but I'm talking like Jericho is a guy that probably never refused to job to anybody. This guy jobs night in, night out. Even in his prime, he was a jobber, yet he was world champion. So when you go out and you beat Jericho, it didn't mean anything to you anymore because they had ruined his career the way it was. Jericho was good on the mic, and that's what saved him. So right now we're doing the same thing with AJ Styles, and I hope I'm not confusing people, but right now you're just making him look like a mid-carder, even though it's AJ Styles and he's one of the best guys, if not the best wrestler today. You fucking make him, I don't know, you put somebody against him and you make him win, meaning AJ loses. It's nothing. It's not going to catapult his career. The guy's still going to be a fucking nobody because he beat AJ Styles because everybody beats him.
Yeah.
I don't
And then like they like randomly put him with this Omos character. Like there was no rhyme or reason for it. He just appeared on Raw with him one day. So that's how much thought they put into that storyline. They get into the tag scene or whatever, and I guess they figured that AJ Styles would elevate Omos, but how can you elevate a piece of wood?
Well, you can't not only that, you can't elevate if they're not. In theory, like everyone's saying, like AJ Styles in his name itself should be like, oh, that's great. It's gonna bring something for him. But if you're not pushing the other individual, then how is that other individual also supposed to be elevated? If they're not investing their time into AJ Styles the way they should be,
Right? Yeah.
How are you going to elevate somebody else?
Right. That's what Paul's saying. But I mean, this is a guy who was handpicked by the Undertaker to have a match at WrestleMania, and it wound up being Taker's last. AJ Styles brought out the best that was left in the Undertaker to the point where Undertaker felt comfortable walking away.
Right.
That in and of itself, he should be able to write his own ticket for the rest of this run. Instead, they stick him with Omos by the end of the year. After Undertaker retires, by the end of the year, he's with Omos in a dead-end tag team,
Right,
doing nothing. And he spent almost this entire year doing nothing, or all of 2021 doing nothing with Omos, just existing. And AJ Styles, and this is at a time when the shows, there was no fans there. They should have been putting AJ Styles in big situations, having great matches, because what the hell else is there? Instead, they put him with Omos.
and he tried.
And then the fans come back and they keep him with Omos when they should be trying to pop the fans.
I have to say, he did try. And there were moments in the beginning where it was like, oh, this is kind of funny. This is cool. This is whatever. But then it stopped there and nothing progressed even to where it could have been, should have been, or they just needed to stop it in general. It just sucks. It's one of those situations that it's just, you feel bad. It sucks because you know it's not going to change. They're not going to have a change of heart and be like, yeah, you know what? It's on the latter end. Let him do what he, make more decisions, have him do what he wants to do and have more of a say. No.
Speaking of guys that are on the back end right now, Roy, Big E's gone through, we covered his title loss at day one, and we're just like, wow. I mean, like that, he had a pretty rough night. And then 2 nights later, me and Victoria covered Raw, where it's like Big E loses again. He loses his chance to even get a title match again. And, a week later or so, he's getting pinned by Seth Rollins clean. And then that's the end of it. How do you think this diminished Big E is going to fare on SmackDown? Do you think they can build him back up and make him a contender against Reigns? Or is he just like the B show filler guy now?
He's the B show filler guy. To the point where, Kofi a couple of weeks ago kind of needed backup, and then it was 2 weeks ago. Sorry, Kofi needed backup, and then out came Big E, and Michael Cole said, "Oh, it's Royal Rumble season. That's why Big E, who's from Raw, is over on SmackDown." That's literally the explanation they gave 2 weeks ago as to why Big E was on SmackDown. It's because it's Royal Rumble season. Then last night on SmackDown, Big E's coming out, or he's cutting a promo, and Michael Cole just subtly mentions, "Oh yeah, and Big E's officially on SmackDown." This is a guy who was WWE champion, the face of Raw, he was supposed to be the supposed face of Raw. He wasn't, let's be honest, throughout his entire run. But WWE champion less than a month ago on Raw, up against Bobby Lashley, up against all these guys, and he loses the belt. Then you just kind of throw him over on SmackDown, and you just mention, hey, well, he's officially on SmackDown. That's cool, but why? Why is he back on SmackDown? Was he on SmackDown before? Then he won the Raw title. Now he's back on SmackDown? Because if that's the case, explain it. If it's not, you need a freaking good explanation as to why he's suddenly on SmackDown, as opposed to just, well, it's Royal Rumble season. What happens when he's on SmackDown? He's in a tag team match with Kofi Kingston. And now with King Woods or Xavier Woods out injured, they're not going to leave Kofi out on his own. They're going to throw him in with Big E, and chances are it's probably already booked. Big E and Kofi Kingston up against the Usos at WrestleMania. That's my guess. Unless they do something with Big E, I don't see him, competing against Roman Reigns anytime soon. Not at WrestleMania, not after WrestleMania. It's similar to to what they did with him last year, where they pushed him a little bit. They gave him that Intercontinental title, and you're like, okay, they're actually going to do something. And then around summertime, everything died with Big E. They didn't do anything. And then, he got the title near the end. And we've seen it far too many times. Look at Kofi Kingston. Won the title, didn't do anything afterwards. Look at, even without a title run, look at Cesaro. Cesaro, less than a year ago, was feuding with Seth Rollins. WrestleMania comes around, fans are coming back, and then they completely pull the plug, and Cesaro's tag teaming with Mansoor and tag teaming with Ricochet, and
he wasn't even in the Rumble tonight.
He wasn't in the Rumble. No, there was like 4 guys left in the Rumble. We were at number 26, and
I totally forgot about him.
Yeah, I was watching with Paul, and we were trying to count who was left in the Rumble, and we said the Usos, and Paul said, "No, it's not going to be them." I said Cesaro, maybe, and where's Cesaro? Not even in the Rumble, not even there. And look, Big E is always going to be, in my opinion, in their eyes anyways, not in mine, but in Vince's eyes and creative, I think Big E is always going to be that New Day guy, that goofy guy, the guy that's going to sell you the merchandise along with Kofi and along with Woods. But
they did nothing to distance him from that when he was champion.
No, at all. Yeah, he went back to his original theme song. He wasn't using the New Day song, but that was it. He was helping out Kofi and Woods around Survivor Series time, so he was showing up on SmackDown against the Usos, and that was it. Never at one point throughout his entire run did you think, shit, you know what? WWE is fully supporting this guy, and he's the face of Raw. Never, not even once.
That's a great point. That's a really great point. It never felt like they ever dove headfirst into it. They gave him like 4 months. Let's just see what happens with him as champion. It was almost like they just gave the title to him to pop a rating. Like one of those things, like when USA Network is like, oh, like this is BS. Like, you guys aren't giving us the full your full effort. You're giving it all to SmackDown, so we want to have a Hell in a Cell match too. And you need to pop a rating, so have a Legends night, have this and that, make the 24/7 title. It almost seemed like, this guy has the Money in the Bank. We want to cash in on the show. Give us a rating. And so they give Big E the title. Even the way he won it just felt cheap. And it never really improved from there. Like, yeah, he had a couple wins, but he lost a couple times as WWE champion clean.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just, it was just lame. Yeah, Finn Balor not in the Rumble either. That's another guy I forget about all the time. That's a good point too. I mean,
Finn Balor is dying to go to AEW. He is dying, and they're not letting him go.
No way.
I can tell you first. I'm 100%. He is dying to go.
100%. I agree with you. Now, here's a guy I think AEW would like to get. What did you think of freaking Bad Bunny? Once again, that was the only real surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble tonight.
And they gave him a couple of good spots.
He had a couple great spots. Is he the best celebrity wrestler of all time that didn't get into it full time?
I mean, judging by his WrestleMania match, I remember when we covered it, right? Mike, Victoria, we covered it on the post WrestleMania show. Wow! And then again tonight, and he got a pop. It's Bad Bunny. It's Bad Bunny. He got a pop in fucking St. Louis. Who, look, nothing against St. Louis, but chances are, I don't think there are too many Latinos that listen to Bad Bunny in St. Louis, and he still got a fucking pop in St. Louis. So he got a pop. They plugged his what's it called, his tour that's coming up, his 2 tours. He got the Canadian Destroyer in. He eliminated some people. Is he the best celebrity? I can't think of another one. I can't. Like Pat McAfee. There you go, Pat McAfee, and he was there for a couple of weeks. Got a couple of matches in NXT. Now he's doing commentary. Aside from him, I can't think of anybody.
No, a celebrity that took those spots and those moves. Yeah, I don't think there was anybody else.
I just can't believe he likes it this much. He doesn't need to do this by any means. He doesn't need the clout. He doesn't need to promote himself. He's a huge name already. Like, he really does this because he genuinely loves wrestling and he loves WWE.
That's what Michael Cole was saying tonight too. He goes, oh, he really loves this and he wants to be good at it. And Michael Cole essentially said the same thing tonight, where it's like, he doesn't need to be here.
No,
he does not need to be doing this.
Like, they're doing WWE's, he's doing WWE a favor. They're not doing him a favor.
I got to tell you, I went crazy when freaking Brock Lesnar faces off against the Bad Bunny.
That's your WrestleMania match.
Are you kidding me?
I'd love to see Lesnar take the Canadian Destroyer from Bad Bunny.
That would have been a great counter out of the F5.
He wouldn't be able to.
No way.
No.
Lesnar has to flip to do it, man. It's tough.
But he did it to Matt Riddle. He did the Destroyer to Matt Riddle.
Come on, it was just
that was friggin' awesome. And then just the face off. Like Brock Lesnar hitting this. I mean, this guy is a legitimate superstar, selling out like arenas and stadiums.
That's what I'm saying.
And Brock Lesnar scoops him up and gives him an F5. That's incredible. Here it is.
I'm trying to equate right now, somebody who's really big in the female industry that would come in and take over the women's division. And I'm not talking about Ronda Rousey at mainstream.
Oh, you mean like a celebrity,
like a celebrity who wins Grammys and
Grammys.
Yeah, Ariana Grande coming in.
Yeah, Ariana Grande coming in.
Britney Spears coming
in and being like, hey, that's what this is.
Yeah, I guess that would be like Britney Spears coming in taking an F5 or something like that. Yeah.
It's just it's amazing. It's shocking and amazing all in one.
And Bad Bunny freaking eliminated some people too.
Right.
Yes, they did.
He eliminated Sheamus. Sheamus. Okay, so I can't really get mad about Madcap Moss eliminating freaking AJ Styles. I guess Bad Bunny eliminating Sheamus. But I like that one. So now I seem like a total hypocrite.
No, you don't, because it's Bad Bunny.
And he got rid of Dolph Ziggler too. Ziggler, who's in his 15th Royal Rumble. Who cares?
But you know what? Surprisingly, and you don't see this too often from celebrities, the celebrities tonight took bumps. I mean, Johnny Knoxville at 50 took some bumps. Bad Bunny took the freaking F5 from Lesnar and then obviously got eliminated.
But I think the F5 is the easiest bump you can take.
Yes, I mean he's slamming him, right? It's Lesnar
it's a body slam, but sideways.
It's a body slam, but still, how often do you watch? Do you see celebrities come in any organization, WWE, AEW, doesn't matter, where the celebrity, because it's always a celebrity that comes out on top, always. And I get this is a Rumble,
except Pete Rose.
Except Pete Rose, yes, him and Kane still have this feud ongoing, but it's surprising and good on them. And Bad Bunny clearly is a fan. I mean, all the training that he put in for WrestleMania and tonight, and they got people talking. WWE did it deliberately, I guess, to try and get some people to sign up on Peacock, is what I think, because they leaked that image of him and the Undertaker backstage.
Yeah.
So I mean, why else would Bad Bunny be in fucking St. Louis on a Saturday? He could be anywhere else in the world. But no, he's going to be in St. Louis, Missouri.
He does love the company. He loves wrestling. And what a get for them to have somebody who's a legit superstar that likes the damn product.
He's probably doing it for free too. He's like, I don't want to get paid. Just get me on.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's probably I'm living my dream right now. Absolutely.
I just want to act like I did with my wrestling buddies.
Yeah.
Let me at it. Yeah, Bad Bunny is treated better than Big E in this match, that's for sure. And Damian Priest.
I mean, he's treated than most of the superstars.
Even Omos. It's not like he didn't. It's I figured when they would send in Omos that he would run roughshod and eliminate a whole bunch of people. I think he eliminated 3 or something like that. And they were nobodies. And then AJ Styles is actually the one who winds up pushing him over the top rope. And I think Omos is dropping in stock too, because they realize, I guess it will be difficult for us to push a guy who can't move.
Giant Gonzalez was
he is the Giant Gonzalez of the 21st century. He is. In a few years, we're going to be doing where are they now? And he's going to be somewhere in Argentina. It's just like Giant Gonzalez. It's
they're living together.
This guy's not here for a long time. But he's here for a good time, I guess. That's why I said, okay, so I want to share with you, Paul, a sentiment that I had, a wild prediction for the Royal Rumble that you will probably just want to fire me over. I said,
I remember.
Omos is Giant Gonzalez, and Giant Gonzalez had a shelf life of exactly fucking 2 matches. and then it's like we're done because we can't use this guy anymore. Now they're pushing Omos for whatever stupid freaking reason. I was like, you know what? They're gonna realize in like a couple weeks of him working that he sucks. So might as well get as much as you can out of him now before he totally implodes on live TV. I said, have him win the Rumble, have him face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania as one of the not
Worst
the main
matches.
match. I said if Ronda Rousey's there, she should main event night 1, but Lesnar could face Omos in like a freak show match on night 1 just to give it a little extra oomph before facing Roman Reigns the next night. But no,
No, it didn't
No.
happen.
No.
That was like you said, like
No.
a very wild prediction.
it was the wild one.
Undertaker faced Giant Gonzalez, and we saw what happened. So
Yeah, I did. Yeah, like Undertaker couldn't even lift the guy. They'd like do the chloroform finish. That was
use
just
the
so bad. In fact, I think that is a mark against Undertaker's WrestleMania record. But it's like they forget about that eventually. I went back when I was doing those retro WrestleMania recaps, and I was like, God, what this actually happened? What were they thinking?
Sorry, and I know this is slightly off topic. What made the least amount of sense at that WrestleMania? Was it Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez, or was it Hulk Hogan fucking showing up at the end for no reason?
I think Shawn Michaels versus like Marty Jannetty. Tito Santana. I think it was.
No, like
Tatanka.
it was Tatanka.
Tatanka.
Yeah.
No, and there were. Wait, who did Doink face then? Where there were 2 Doinks?
Crush.
And there was definitely something with Tito Santana there. Because I think he was on like the first 9 WrestleManias for a reason.
Didn't I watch that one with you?
Lex Luger was there against Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, and that was a brutal match.
Yeah, and Shawn Michaels against Tatanka.
Yeah, you knew the WrestleMania was bad. Was that
Money Inc.
Money
against,
Inc. Kona Crush? Yeah, there was
Tito Santana versus Papa Shango. 8 minutes.
That's what it was.
The Godfather.
That was horrible. You knew you're in trouble when the best match on that show was the Steiners versus the Head Shrinkers. That's how bad that show was. Horrible. There's absolutely, and then the Hulk thing just totally put it over the edge.
I remember this now.
Bitter memory for a young Paul Nemer.
I remember you recap it.
A bitter memory. Oh yeah.
And it was at like 4 p.m. as well. It was that was WrestleMania 10, wasn't it?
WrestleMania 10 was at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, that was strange. WrestleMania 2 was on a Monday night, believe it or not. Monday night. WrestleMania. How about that? Well, anyway, guys, Brock Lesnar comes out number 30. He runs through everybody. That's the thing I think that's got the people the angriest about this show is that Brock Lesnar came out and everybody predicted he would come out, and then they gave you what you predicted and what you were expecting, and now they're mad about it.
Let them be.
So stupid.
Yeah. No, I agree. Let them be mad.
My question to them is, what would you have done different on the show?
Right.
They did everything that I would probably do if I was Vince tonight.
Booking 101.
Yeah. Who do you want? Lesnar not winning the Rumble? If Lesnar lost the belt and not won the Rumble, then he would have been fucking just finished.
There'd be no point.
You don't know what you're talking about, Paul. That's exactly what I wanted.
I really want Dolph Ziggler to win. What are you talking about?
Give a guide. Friggin'
Bobby Roode.
They never push anybody that I like. God damn it. They should have paid Jeff Hardy to come back. Come on. You idiots.
No, that is a good it is a good question though to make. It's like, okay, but who would you want to win? And half the time these individuals would not be able to give you a logical, and WWE's logic is not always there, obviously.
Not very sound.
But in this particular case, what other scenario would have played out that would be anywhere remote to being a logical ending? Seriously. Who else?
The closest one, I'm not saying that it would have made sense, Probably Drew McIntyre.
Not even
Yeah,
Drew.
exactly.
Then, probably.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Paul's right. Not even Drew would.
But Drew is the Big E today now. He was
he's
champion and then he
severely
fell
diminished.
off. That's it.
I was glad though to see him back because it was talked about that he had a pretty devastating neck injury that might keep him out for a while. It was good to see, but they said that he was doing some rehab, like the John Cena type rehab, where just to kind of get him through. But I think he's eventually gonna need some neck surgery. So, it was good to see him out there, and at least he gets
But
And
no, there's
he was back without the sword too, which is good because I know how much you love the sword, Mike.
That
but,
sword drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Mike's favorite. He bought one.
Guys.
Yeah.
Didn't you get him one for Christmas, Victoria?
Yes, that was the top gift.
Okay. So that's the show. Brock Lesnar is the winner.
You acknowledge
Okay.
it.
This show is like dividing the internet to the point. If you look at I swear you have to look at the Wrestleview Twitter poll right now. 49.5% thumbs up, 50.5% thumbs down. It's
Wow.
almost 50-50 on how people feel about this show.
It's
Okay, you know what?
amazing how the end of
Please,
a show can really.
do me a favor and put a poll up and say, who do you want to win the Royal Rumble? Who would you have booked to win the Royal Rumble? Please, I'm just dying to know what these people want.
No, do it.
I think we'll do that.
No, you should,
I think we
because
should do that.
I am very curious too. How would they wanted this to end? And again, nothing stupid. Like not like you're stupid, like whatever. Yes, in a perfect world, my Miz would win.
This guy makes
the
a
Royal
good point.
Rumble. He wasn't even in the Rumble, and my Miz would win.
Keith Lee, they released. He should have been in there for this. Absolutely, he should have been in the running for
this. This Rumble was doomed, and people were shitting on this Rumble before it even started because I don't know how the hell this started, but the rumor of they're gonna get, they're gonna break down that fourth wall again and get someone from AEW to show up.
That was the stupidest.
What the fuck? Like, what, you were expecting Cody Rhodes to fucking show up in the Rumble? Or you were expecting I don't know, Daniel Bryan to suddenly show up, or Tony Khan? What the fuck? Like,
that was insane.
You know what, everyone? The Bella Twins were there tonight, so of course Daniel Bryan's there, and he was going to enter himself in tonight.
Daniel Bryan will never show back up on
Never.
WWE after what they did to him.
No.
The way they treated him.
Never.
The way they failed him.
Oh yeah.
Not happening.
I could not believe my eyes when I was reading these ridiculous. CM Punk. Yeah. Okay. Now Daniel's just trolling. But I could not believe my eyes when I was reading the ridiculousness of Cody Rhodes, who helped form AEW, is going to show up at the Royal Rumble. Oh, you don't think that they know what they're doing? You don't think that every single word that comes out of everybody's mouth on this television show isn't pre-planned or written, with full approval? Are you kidding me? That they mentioned Dean Ambrose or John Moxley, and they even call him Mox a couple times. They did that on purpose because you're idiots, and you fed right into it. Not our fan, not the people listening to this show, because these are the smart, real fans. But idiots out there that might stumble across this video, I just want you to know, if you actually thought that Dean Ambrose or John Moxley or Cody Rhodes or CM Punk or the Young Bucks or Adam Page
or Chris
Jericho, Andrade was going to show up on this show, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Okay.
But Mike, but Andrade's girlfriend or fiance, Charlotte Flair.
I thought MJF was going to show up.
MJF definitely was winning the Rumble.
God. My God, these people. Daniel's right. Kayfabe is alive and well. These idiots.
You know what is going to happen? This is what they thought was going to happen. It was going to be one entrant, and it was just going to be AEW.
Yeah,
it was
one entrant at the other.
They were all just going to come out collectively together.
30-man
and it was
AEW.
going to be that.
The invasion
was going to be 29, and AEW was going to be entrant number 30.
Jeez, they signed enough people on their roster that don't make TV that they probably could fill up a 30-man Royal Rumble with. It's like they sign anybody Big Show's going to come back. Okay.
And turn in 2 seconds.
Although there was a fourth wall kind of broken down with Mickie James appearing with the Impact Women's Championship. I actually, I don't know why, because I just as a company, I despise Impact because I think, you know, especially like when you think about all the terrible things that they've done and like, you know, what happened to poor Daphne, you know, where she had a head injury so bad that she wound up killing herself
That's
over
terrible.
it, and they did
That's
nothing to
terrible.
help her. You know, to see Mickie James come out with that women's title though tonight, I don't know why, but like the hair on my arms stood up. I was just like, this is like really weird to me. This is like when they were trying to do that, like, you know, remember when Jim Cornette was going to bring wrestling back and he did here I go again, my connection, the NWA titles. Reminded me of that.
It's surprising. I mean, there was a comment earlier. Someone said the Mickie James thing was a mistake. They forgot, you know, she even wrote that Impact. But it is surprising that they went down that road and picked her, you know, and it's even more surprising that they had her come out with the belt and her own music and everything. And even at that, and I thought they did it very well. And if I'm not mistaken, it was Lita that eliminated her. Even at that, people were shitting on WWE because apparently I was reading some tweets. I shit you not. I read some tweets. People were shitting on Creative and this Rumble, the Women's Rumble, because one of them said Mickie James was treated with disrespect because she got eliminated by a legend and not an up-and-comer. People will hate on anything. Literally, people hate on
that
anything.
just proves it right there.
That's insane.
That just proves it.
Now, I'm going to use my conspiracy theory. You know, I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on here real quick, because Impact not too long ago had a working relationship with AEW where they, you know, Christian became the Impact champion and this and that, and they
Another
had
mid card.
Yep.
Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega was appearing on Impact and stuff like that. And then this partnership quickly dissolved. I almost think that this was just like WWE just kind of like thumbing their nose at Impact, you know, like Brett Farmer's in the chat is saying that WWE didn't know that Mickie James was an Impact. I don't believe that for a second. I think they knew she was there. This is our chance to bring in somebody from Impact, you know, without making much of an impact, you know, and just kind of thumbing their nose at like AEW, like, oh yeah, you guys can't work a deal here. We
brought the women's champion there. Yeah.
We picked it up. But I don't think the reciprocation from WWE to Impact is going to be what, you know, Andrew says Mike has confirmed Brock Lesnar on Impact. No, I don't think a single WWE superstar will ever appear on an Impact Wrestling show.
No. How long would they last?
Not long. I think it ended as soon as Mickie James' feet hit the floor. It was over.
Impact's finished, man. That's it. I mean,
they've been finished. It's just nobody told them yet. It's like a cockroach with its head off. I mean, God, like how long were they doing empty arena shows for? I think they weren't doing empty arena shows because of the pandemic. After a while, I think nobody was showing up.
Exactly.
It's like an empty arena show. They were doing that before the pandemic made it cool. It's like,
true.
God, what a miserable promotion they are. What an absolutely miserable promotion they are. That and Ring of Honor, and like, you know, like,
your face.
Oh, you're gonna upset a lot of people now with the Ring of Honor comment.
They're a miserable promotion too. They did their Madison Garden show. That was the peak of their company, and then they got too big, and they thought they were too big, and they made some real mistakes with their fans, and you know, having Bully Ray literally bring a guy backstage, bully people. They're idiots, and then PR guy being a friggin' idiot with us. I'm. Look, bad things happen to bad people. That's all I'm saying. You know, right from having
those
Rob
are fighting
Feinstein,
words.
you know, child molester. Like, God,
those are fighting words.
Idiots.
My gosh,
idiots.
We're talking about Rob.
We're Facebook friends somehow. I don't even know. It's like so ridiculous.
You're friends with a lot of people.
I know, too many people. I got to get rid of some. Rob Feinstein's gonna be one of them. But anyway, that wall was broken down tonight.
I'll pretend you said 12. No, I'll pretend you said 18. Sorry, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Remember that?
That was a thing.
That was a huge thing.
Oh my God. Like, every now and then, like Rob Feinstein sells wrestling autographs, and he'll do it like on Facebook and stuff like that. And every now and then in the chat room, it's like, so tell us about that time. I can't even finish it because it's so ridiculous.
It is. Oh my god.
How old's your girlfriend?
He was talking to the boy, a 13-year-old boy. Told him, "I'll pretend you said 18."
Yeah, that was strange. That was some weird stuff, man. And that's how he got out of Ring of Honor. And that's early on in the company's history there.
Question here: How did the conversation get to this point?
I don't know.
was-
And I want
I
to
was
I
gonna
don't
ask.
know.
I was
It's Roy's
gonna
fault.
ask.
It was Roy's fault.
It's always Roy's fault. Blame the younger, better looking one. That's cool. That's fine.
That's it.
But welcome everybody to WrestleView.com's Royal Rumble post show, where we discuss absolutely everything and anything, from legal
Nothing's
to
off
not so
limits.
legal stuff. Yeah, exactly. Nothing's off limits.
You know
we even
why?
have siblings mocking each other.
Because we don't get the older Nemer here all that often, so we have to make sure we cover all of our
True.
bases.
We don't
It's
discriminate on
true.
this show.
Exactly. It's not every day that one of the Nemers is basking in the glory of the younger Nemer. It's
right.
all good. I understand.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, on that note, let's go around. Let's do a final synopsis on this show tonight. We'll start off with Victoria. How about that? We'll start you off. What did you so what's your overall rating on this show? Did you enjoy it? Do you give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? And we want to ask people in the chat room too. Do you give the show a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
I honestly give it a thumbs up, and it very well just could be because I didn't hate the ending of the show. I didn't see any other person winning that Rumble other than Brock Lesnar, and I was fine with it. I like Brock Lesnar. Him winning is a lot of fans winning. So
The perfect ending.
yeah.
I thought so. Booking 101.
Yeah.
Paul, what do you think of the show? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Thumbs up. Obviously, thumbs up. I mean, they booked it right. I read a guy in the chat saying, "Oh, well, I would have booked Seth Rollins number 30 and him winning it." Okay, maybe. But then Lesnar losing the belt and looking like an idiot and not winning the Rumble and not being there, then you just fucking brought down Brock Lesnar, and that's not good. So that's why they had to make him win.
Yeah. Roy, what do you think?
Definitely a thumbs up. Definitely a thumbs up. Great Universal title match despite the ending. Great WWE Championship match between Lesnar and Lashley. I know I said the Rumble matches were underwhelming, and for me it was just underwhelming because there weren't, like, when you look at them on paper, you're like, well, who could win? Aside from Lesnar, who could win? And for the women, aside from Ronda Rousey, if she shows up, who could it be? But no, overall it was fun. It's a Rumble. I love the Rumble. It's probably my favorite event outside of WrestleMania. So it was good. Everything made sense. Let's put it that way. Ending aside of the Universal title match, everything else made sense. Becky Lynch made sense to win. Even the tag team match, Miz and Maurice, Edge and Beth Phoenix, it was okay for what it was. There was nothing that I hated or nothing bad enough for me to say, oh, this warrants a thumbs down. No, definite thumbs up.
Let me just add, Ronda Rousey winning was also amazing. Having her and Brock win individually, I think that's the best thing.
Yeah. And just to kind of to go back a little bit on Ronda Rousey, this is, for some, this might be nothing, but WWE's header on Twitter is Ronda Rousey. It's not Brock Lesnar. It's Ronda Rousey. And if they're putting Ronda Rousey as the face of their Twitter page, well, chances are it's because she's probably going to bring in some money for them, right? She's still a big name and incredible name.
This is the stuff for the uninformed as to, why do they keep doing Lesnar? Why do they keep doing Rousey? This is the stuff that winds up on ESPN. This is the stuff that breaks through more than just like, this is just, big in the wrestling world. This is the stuff that breaks out, and gets to the mainstream and at the best possible time that you'd want it to, end of January, heading into WrestleMania. You want to start creating a buzz and make people, hey, you know what? When's that show on Monday? When's that show on Friday? Yeah, maybe I'll watch
And
that.
you need it to, because with AEW being their competition, you need it to at this point.
Yeah,
you draw people back to WWE and saying, what's going on with them?
And hey, look, the shows, I've been saying it. Here I go again. I just want to say what I want to say without my stupid connection going all crazy here. The shows have been improving. I've seen like a real market improvement in Raw. SmackDown has been good. And now you need the pieces that'll put it all over. Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey. Those are the pieces that you want to go into WrestleMania with. Those are the people that are going to have the marquee matches. Those are the people that are going to pile people into that enormous stadium in Dallas 2 nights in a row. I think that's a huge success. It's a huge get for them. Even Bad Bunny showing up tonight, that's more mainstream. That'll get more eyes from people that don't normally watch wrestling. That's the purpose of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the purpose and if that's the goal, then they pulled it off without a hitch. Brock Lesnar wins, Ronda Rousey wins, Bad Bunny gets his big spot. Thumbs up. You can't say any differently.
Yeah. And you get Ronda Rousey on Fox.
Yes, exactly. And USA Network. So USA Network will be happy. Fox is happy. It's just it works out for everybody. It just works out for everybody. So coming up this week, Monday, me and Victoria will be covering all of the fallout from the Royal Rumble show. We know that Ronda Rousey is going to be on the show for sure. Brock Lesnar is advertised at the arena as being on this show as well. So we might be having a Brock Lesnar appearance as well on that show. We'll be recapping that show for you after the conclusion. Roy will be back for the post SmackDown show this coming Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. Gonna be on. We're gonna talk about fallout of the Rumble, and hopefully we get Ronda Rousey on SmackDown. We can't have Raw taking all the superstars here, Mike. We need them on SmackDown as well.
That's right. And Paul will continue to act like the Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain, continuing to beautify and improve the site. Paul, are you pleased with the results of tonight?
Definitely pleased, of course.
Well, he does have some really good recappers on staff. I will say that.
I have the best Raw recapper on the internet. Period. The most detailed Raw recap ever. So
I think it's easy to read. Oh
my God, Mike, shut up.
Play by play,
formatted everything. Well. There's good,
well structured.
That's yes.
Twitter comments are
Paul,
put in.
Don't compliment him anymore, please.
Is it MLA format, Mike? MLA format, or
it should be. It should be. I'm using AMA.
I'm gonna hear all tonight. Oh, great.
Well, you know who you're married to.
I know. Believe me.
You hit the jackpot here.
Okay.
There's a jackpot to be had.
Oh, and I'm chopped liver over here? What the hell?
Didn't say that.
Oh, no, never mind. I'm not Maurice, so okay.
I think we should leave them alone, Roy.
On that note,
I think maybe we can practice the flying hurricane Rana tonight. Huh?
You are an ass.
Whenever you say that, just remember the Frankensteiner.
That's really spoiling this night.
I'm gonna use that on you now.
You know what? Thumbs down on this show. Thumbs down. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with us. The show went a little longer than it normally does, but that's because we have some great people on the show tonight. We thank you all for joining us and hanging out with us and listening to the Royal Rumble and also participating in the chat room. It was a great chat room tonight. I'm Mike Tedesco. That's Roy Nemer. That's Paul Nemer down there that way. And that's Victoria down there. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Ciao.